why are you doing this?
Yes.
I always have to ask myself that question. Why am I doing this? If I can't find, then I have to say no. One evening, I was at home and just watching TV with my wife, and then I got this call, and then the person said, "This is the president speaking."
Okay.
So I'm like, "President of what?" This is president of South Africa. This is Cyril. I need to discuss something with you. And I knew immediately what I think he wanted.
Mm-hmm.
You need to find a way of saying no in a respectful way.
Yeah.
So I had the whole night to think of how am I going to do this. There were two courses that made many Black students to be excluded from the engineering course.
Okay.
When you realize then that your counterparts been exposed to this, so the playing fields were not level. I found myself playing a role of helping other students. I just realized that people were struggling, and then I helped.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's been this constant thing that throughout my life, I find myself being attracted to helping them solve some of these things that some of them may consider complex, but but are not. That regime of being disciplined, 4:30, wake up, go, sing, come back, you serve customers. You know, we got a sense, a business sense. So how you treat the people that are working for you, I got that from her.
Beautiful.
Largely. And how you treat client customers. That again, largely because of her listening to customers. So that shaped me a lot. So my entire family moved to MTN. That whole became a mess, that whole migration process. So we were unable, nobody could contact us for the whole weekend. Right? And my family is like, is that where you are going? It was personal. Say, we need to go and fix the customer service and customer experience at MTN South Africa.
Welcome to today's African Speaker Bureau Talk. Today we have the honor and privilege to have our guest, Dr. Mteto Nyati. He's one of our respected business leaders in South Africa, a turnaround strategist and value-based leader. He's known for transforming companies like MTN South Africa, Microsoft, Altron, and ESKOM, and very well known for his belief that real change begins with people, purpose, not slogans. He's the chairperson of the board of ESKOM Holdings. He's also the executive chairperson of BSG, Business System Group, a South African consulting and technology firm, and he is the founder and executive chairman of Owazo Investments. Dr. Nyati, I feel very honored to have the pleasure of a 2-hour conversation, and I have lots of questions. So I decided to cut this into 2 parts, part 1 and part 2. Part 1, we are talking about your personal upbringing, your leadership skills, your early roles in the business. And in the second part, we talk about other leadership skills, African values, and I think we just let it flow and we see where it leads from here. But perhaps you can also just start to introduce yourself in your own words.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me here. And I always like conversations that just flow. So I'm looking forward to this conversation that we're going to have. My name, of course, as you have indicated, Mteto Nyati, originally from the Eastern Cape, from Mtata. And I grew up in a large family of, I've got 9 siblings. And from that family, I moved on to go and chose to do mechanical engineering. I did that at Natal University. And then that took me to Gauteng, because the company that sponsored my engineering degree, Afrox,
Mhm.
was based, its headquarters was in Johannesburg. So that's where I started working, and that's where I still am. Many, many years later, I'm still there, no longer with Afrox,
Mm.
but they were a great company that helped me and shaped me in many ways. Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the conversation with you.
Exactly. It should be conversation. It's always about
Yeah.
other people to get to know you, and we
Yeah.
just have a very casual conversation. So you
Yeah.
can speak about everything you like. You don't have to speak about
Yeah.
what you don't like. When you just said the first company, what the name is?
Afrox.
Afrox.
Yeah, it's a gas company.
Okay. Yeah,
African
Afrox.
Oxygen.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's at the time it was owned by British Oxygen
Okay.
POC,
Mm-hmm.
but now it has been bought by a German company, Linde.
Oh, Linde. This is part of Linde now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a long time ago.
Yeah. You said Afrox, they shaped you as well. Is there something that stands out for you still today where they
Yeah,
shaped you?
yeah. In many ways, I mean, one of the things of their values, core values, saying that as an employee, you need to grow your job. It is up to you.
Mm.
They don't come and say, hey, this is how your job look like.
Okay.
They give you key indicators, but you can decide how you shape your job.
Mm.
And they placed a lot of responsibility back at the individual, not the manager of the individual.
Okay.
And that's different because many people are waiting for their managers to tell them what is it that I need to be doing, what do you expect from me. They said, no, it's your responsibility. Yes, work with your manager, but it needs to start from you. You need to know, where do you want to be? Where do you want to go? What are your own goals? And that, to me, that was the first thing that shaped me, taking personal responsibility for my career. The second thing that I got from there, I was, at the time, they were implementing total quality management.
Mm-hmm.
That was in 1985. We're implementing total quality management. And we so I was asked, my manager at the time, a guy called Neil Greenfield, was one of the top leaders of Afrox. He had brought me into this team that he had put together. A few people, like 4 of us,
Mm-hmm.
were charged with this responsibility of implementing quality.
Okay.
And we had to learn the Japanese manufacturing techniques.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So people like Edward Deming, these are people that shaped the approach on quality that helped the Japanese to be able to beat the Americans when it comes to automobiles.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And there were specific scientific ways that they went about doing that, implementing of quality circles, for example.
Yes.
Empowering teams to go solve problems on their own.
Yeah.
Introducing statistical process control in making sure that you do not inspect quality. When you're inspecting quality, it's already too late. You need to design quality into your products and your process, right?
Yeah.
And that's different from, no, the Americans, their approach was to inspect much later. And then you have got all of these rejects, So that whole philosophy of empowering teams and making sure that you give them the resources that they need. And these are the people who are closest to the problem.
Yeah.
And you need to give them the space to solve the problem.
Yes.
Exactly. That thinking, that
wow.
If you look at me today, I still approach things like that. It came from that grounding.
I understand. This actually shapes you very well to today. That's what you're standing for. Yeah.
Exactly. So Afrox was it was a great. I had a great leader, of course.
Yeah.
By the way, he ended up going to work for Linde and Neil Greenfield. He still is my mentor today.
Wow. Okay. Wonderful.
We meet often. When he comes back to South Africa, we meet, connect. He was worried when he had me he said, hey, you're taking the role in ESKOM. Are you not worried about it? So we had to have a session with him. He was worried, and he coached me here and then, said how best to handle this situation. And that's some of these relationships what you build and you maintain them over a long period of time.
Yeah. What makes you choose to become chairperson of ESKOM? This is one of our most struggle enterprises. So I think
I did not choose.
It chose you.
It chose me. Yeah, exactly. It did not. I did not choose it. One evening, I was at home, and just watching TV with my wife because now we've got an empty nest. All of my daughter is out of the house. She's studying in the US.
Okay.
So I was watching TV, and around about 7 o'clock in the evening, and then I got this call, and I looked at it. I don't know this person, of course. It clearly is not my friend, but I answered it. And then the person said, "This is the president speaking."
Okay.
So I'm like, "President of what?" And he said, "No, this is president of South Africa. This is Cyril."
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's a surprise. And he said, "Oh, yeah, I believe it is. Listen, are you going to be around? I need to discuss something with you." And he had just come back from a trip from the UK. He cut that trip short.
Yeah.
Because South Africans were saying, "Why are you out there when we are having an energy crisis here?"
Exactly.
He was being hosted by the Queen. So he's now, a few days later, is calling me, and I knew immediately what I think he wanted. So I remember having a discussion with my wife, because he said, "Can we meet tomorrow?" So he gave me the time to think. So I had this discussion with my wife, and it became clear. We came to the conclusion of why he wants me. And because I had just made an investment in BSG, I could not go to my partner and say, "Sorry, partner, I have to go and now work in ESKOM."
Yes.
Operationally involved. So we agreed with my wife that no, that cannot be. You need to find a way of saying no in a respectful way.
Yeah.
So I had the whole night to think of how am I going to do this. And so when I met him, it was like about 9 o'clock the following day. 15 minutes into the meeting, he tabled why he wanted. And it was indeed exactly what I thought. He wanted me to replace Andre Curator as the CEO.
Yeah.
I'm making it was not to be on the board. It was, I want you to be the CEO of ESKOM. Which is exactly what I thought he wanted.
Yeah.
So I had the whole night of help of trying to move him from that idea to another idea, which he would find great as well.
You leader as you are, you lead that our president to the right conclusion.
Yeah. So I said, I try to help him to understand that, when I look at, and this is now really serious, when you look at complex systems, people often make a mistake saying that when the problems are bubbling and are surfacing, these problems, they look at who is around when those problems are, and they say that's the person who created the problem.
Yeah.
When in reality, when it comes to complex systems, there is a time delay between the cause and the effect. And you find that the cause of the problem is far removed in time and in space. So I then shared this thinking with him. Said, "Mr. President, we often make this problem, and I do not think Andre is the problem. These problems were caused by many people. What Andre is looking for now, we need to find people that can sit on a board, have a strong board that is going to support him and help him address all of these challenges that he's finding." And he thought about it. And I was like crossing my fingers. It's like, I thought about it and said, I can relate to that. I said, wow, would I be that good in explaining? I never expected you. I said, I can relate to that. I said, look at my own situation. He's talking about his situation. It's like everybody is like blaming me.
Yeah.
But most of the problems
Yeah.
come from, the people before me. So it is really what you're saying, it is true. Yes, it's
I remember
absolutely.
actually Alec Irvin, he was one of those guys who said, we can't bring industrialization or more empowerment in this country because we don't have electricity.
Yes.
He was almost shot, so to say, for the statement, but this
Yes.
was true. And
Yes.
we realized there's a problem in ESKOM. This is
Yes.
now 15 years ago.
Yes.
So he saw the problems.
Exactly. That's what he mentioned. He mentioned exactly those things. That look, this thing started many, many years ago.
Absolutely.
We are in this mess because certain decisions. He mentioned some of those people, the names of those people, and that's where we then pivoted. That now I can come in and sit on the board and be one of the people that are supporting to help turn around this business. So that's how I ended up. I never raised my hand to be in ESKOM. I had my own plan around BSG, and unfortunately, BSG had to kind of like take a back seat for a couple of years whilst I was focusing on ESKOM.
Yeah, but thank you very much, because we have light today. So he's very well known for bringing the light back to South Africa. I didn't want to dive into ESKOMs that early, but I think this is the beautiful of a just flowing conversation. I always like to introduce the person that I'm talking to a little bit from the background, from the family, etc. So let's, if you mind, drive a little bit back into your upbringing. Let's look also from the human side, on the human side behind the headlines. What were some of the early influences, family, personal, environmental? What shaped your views on leadership and service?
So I come from, as I indicated before, I come from the Eastern Cape. Both of my parents were teachers. In fact, both of them were principals. One is high school, another one a junior school. You can see both of them are leaders in their own right. Principals. And my mother, though, given the size of our family, she made a decision, no. In order to give these children a chance in life, we cannot give them what they need with the salary of teachers. Let me become entrepreneur here. Let me go and start a business. So she took a pension, cashed it, set up a trading store. And we grew up in that environment where, early in the morning, we're like 20 kilometers from the city of Mteto. So we had to go and fetch produce, milk and bread in the morning, come back like 4:30, we're up to drive, and then you come back, then you go to school. Then coming back from school, you are behind the counter, you're serving customers. Right. So that is really how we grew. I grew up in that environment. So that regime of being disciplined, 4:30, wake up, go, sing, come back, you serve customers, and then you pack the shelves of the store and do the pricing and do that marking. All of that is stuff that some people can take for granted, but it shapes all of us growing up in that environment. We got a sense, a business sense. We got, when I look at the people that were employed by her, how she was treating them as partners in the business, which was surprising because generally other people, it's like you can see that this person is a boss, but in her case, she was listening to them and integrating their thinking into how we should be growing the business. So how you treat the people that are working for you, I got that from her, largely, and how you treat customers. That again largely because of her, listening to customers, taking their ideas, integrating them, all of that. So that shaped me a lot. And then you have a larger than life father who's really someone who's able to connect with students. I mean, I remember that time, it was 1976, around that time, and when there was all of these riots in Soweto and elsewhere. So it spread right across the country. And he was somebody that commanded so much. He connected with his students.
Okay.
They somehow he convinced them that they need to be protecting the school from external influencers who may come and like ban the school. So you have these students who are supposed to be militant, sitting now becoming policemen and guarding so if you look at that level of, which means he really had the respect of them, and he got them to do, I think the responsible thing, which was, in that case, let's make sure that you get your education. Yeah. So that's the influence that shaped me and all of us in my environment. If you look at the work that I do, almost everywhere, I put people first, employees first. All whether you are talking Afrox, Altron, ESKOM, or MTN, there's always one pillar of our strategy focuses on people. So I was saying that each and every one of my interventions, when I go and join a company, there are two things that will always form part of the strategic intervention, the strategy pillars. There's always a pillar around people.
Yes.
There's also a strategic pillar around customers.
Okay.
And then you have other things. But those, if you go to my time at Microsoft, at MTN South Africa, and Altron, and same here in ESKOM, there are always those two things. And they are informed by all the way back home. How I used to see how my mother was dealing with her employees. And the power, if you get that right, the power, how much you can unlock by just doing that.
Absolutely.
And of course, you need to then have them focusing on serving customers. So those are the two pillars that wherever I go, and if you look at the story, for example, around ESKOM, you had people there that were so down, and they just, many of them, the employees, they just did not even want to be identified as people that are working for ESKOM. That's just how low, the lack of confidence, but these are engineers. These are some of the best people, the cream of the crop, but this is how they were feeling about themselves. So the trick is how do you first help them to realize that they still have greatness within themselves, and they can tackle this thing, because there's no leader that can address any of the. I know people say, hey, you turn around this or turn around that. It's not the leader. It's the people. They are the ones that it goes back to remember my discussion around empowering teams. It goes to that training where you need to help people to solve their own problems. Provide the leadership, the guidance, but make them help them to solve their problems. So that's a huge thing, going back to my roots back in the Eastern Cape, shaped by my mother.
Beautiful. I hear this very often, more and more from people. Max Moyo mentioned his grandfather was very influential. He preached in the fields with his grandfather. Dr. Aisha Pandor mentioned this whole lineage and ancestry sits with her on the table today. ZK Matthews, her great-grandfather, is still guiding her. Her grandmother always says, Aisha, don't be lazy. So there is definitely the upbringing, and especially when the other point that I just felt is, when you mentioned ESKOM, ESKOM was such a proud company once. It was proud of the world. They were a leading company in the world.
And you do not suddenly don't become a good company. It's still the same people that used to be there, still the same people largely. But now they've got a negative self-concept.
Yes, I hear you.
We have to find a way to help them to reconnect with who they are. And great things happen once people are in that space. And that's what we were able to do as the board and also the EXCO that is leading.
You mentioned the same at MTN when we had our conversation recently, that the team also was very demotivated.
Yeah, I mean, we at the time when MTN South Africa was on strike. So every day the employees were toying, going to the street and saying all of the great things about their leaders. You know, you can read the placards. So one it was on a Friday. The group CEO of MTN, Sifiso, the late Sifiso Tabengwa, he approached me and said, "Hey, I would like you to be this, go and take over MTN South Africa." Every day on national television, you're seeing these people and they are insulting their leaders. And they're now asking me to do
exactly what we're looking for, isn't it?
Like, wow. Okay, so I discussed with my wife, of course, and said, no, actually, this is a great opportunity. In each and every assignment that one takes, there needs to be, why are you doing this?
Yes.
I always have to ask myself that question. Why am I doing this? The same thing with ESKOM. The same here. Why? It has to make sense to me. Once I can find the reason, then I'm good. You know? Or if I can't find, then I have to say no, because I've said no to many offers. And this one, my family used to be Vodacom customers before I became an employee of MTN. So, and that weekend, as we were about to, now I was going to start my job at MTN, not at a group level. Before I went to MTN South Africa, at a group level, we were migrated to MTN from Vodacom. So my entire family moved to Vodacom, to MTN. Unfortunately, that whole became a mess, that whole migration process. So we were unable, nobody could contact us for the whole weekend. Right? And think about this thing. My family, it's like, is that where you are going? Can you leave us back? At least you can on your own go. And said, no, we're all going. So for me, this was so personal.
Absolutely.
It was personal. Say, we need to go and fix the customer service and customer experience at MTN South Africa. Because at that time, MTN, we were customers. So as employees, we're customers of MTN. So when you're talking about experience, we were feeling that experience, poor experience. It was terrible. You know, dropped calls everywhere. You know, driving around, dropped calls. We were the kings of dropped calls. So it was so personal. So I found, I'm going there. We need to go and fix this thing. Right. And that's really what we did. You know, we did this thing called the Net Promoter Score. Net Promoter Score, you you get an external company, an independent company, to look at at how well is this company doing with regards to customer service.
Yes.
And they compare and benchmark you against your competitors.
Yes. Yeah.
There are four competitors. There are four of us: MTN, Vodacom, Cell C, and Telkom.
Yeah.
We were number last when it comes to that. That's how bad things were that time, you know. And Vodacom used to have this thing called, if you look at it, the best network.
Yes.
That's how they were going to market. We made a decision as guys, we need to take that. We need to take that tech from Vodacom. It needs to belong to us, you know. These are people who, when you look at it, they just cannot believe. I mean, we are the customers of, how can we get there? We are going to get there. We're going to get there city by city.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah.
It's not like overnight we are going to be number one. No.
Very good. Yeah.
Let's tackle it city by city and look at those, which city has got the most, I mean, the return. Because you make investment.
Yes.
Return on investment. Okay, let's go to Ekurhuleni. City of Cape Town was our first city.
Okay.
City of Cape Town. Oh,
okay.
Doing the checks, best network in City of Cape Town. Okay, City of Johannesburg.
Oh, wow.
Okay, Ekurhuleni. Okay, Tshwane.
Yeah.
Okay, Tekwini. You know, so slowly like that. And then like now,
okay,
they've got that best network. MTN is the best network. But it started from that thinking, you know. So it was that personal, really personal. But you had to get the people who were very much against their leaders, get them to buy in. Then the ones who are driving the change, you know, and and look at where things are, you know. Things are in a better place right now.
Definitely. Let's go back a little bit to your history and upbringing. Is there a specific sound or smell or person from childhood that still anchors you today?
Yeah, I would say possibly my mother.
Okay.
Yeah. She, I mean, I was a bit naughty. I used to sniff glue, to sniff petrol, get myself high, and she used to beat me up like crazy. So, the way, I think she saw something in me that I did not see in myself.
Yes.
And she just could not give up on me. And I remember, I mean, the way I was even asking myself, do I really belong in this family? I think I'm not supposed, why am I the only one who is treated like this? But he was so hard.
Okay.
But it is that thing that when I look back now, it's that tough love. She could see that there's something. I needed to go through that toughness of hers in order to connect with who I am. So he had to even send me in a boarding school, a Roman Catholic school. It was like being sent to Siberia. It's like, all of my siblings are back here. I'm the only one who's sitting there. But looking back now, I can still hear, her voice and encouragement and guidance and how much say, it's like you have to believe in yourself. We've got so much that, don't settle for less.
So growing up in Tata, were there moments where you felt you were destined to more, being in the leadership or much bigger than this town where you grew up in?
I would say no until it became apparent. Up until grade 12, I did not have that sense. Then in grade 12, something happened. And at that time, we were used to write some kind of an exam in all of the grade 12 across the country. You used to write something called a science Olympiad. It's math, science, and biology. So then the top 10 students across South Africa would then represent South Africa in Europe. You know, you go there, it used to be called a science Olympiad. So I was one of those 10 students in 1980.
Wow.
It's like, wow, here you are going through at that time an education system that was meant to make me inferior.
Yes.
But here I am able to compete with everybody else and being able to be up there. That was transformational for me.
Yeah.
You know, it communicated something about me.
Yes.
And then you go to the first guy in my family to, you know, to get into a plane, to go abroad. You know, I'm like 16 at the time. Go abroad, and then you experience this 2 weeks of being exposed to technology, to the different careers and stuff like that. It's like a whole world opens up for you, a world that from Mteto I just did not know that it existed.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Now here is this world, and I'm looking at, I remember the local newspaper, the Daily Dispatch, they interviewed me leaving, and say, what you want to be? I remember said, I want to be a doctor. It's like, But when I came back, I was clear that being a doctor is the last thing that I should be.
Okay.
Because now my whole world has been opened. Look at, I did not even know that there were all of these careers. Engineering was never something that was in my radar.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, no, man, actually, where I need to be as engineering is not. Now look at the efforts that I used to put to pass biology. It was a lot of effort compared to math and science.
Okay.
The other one just came naturally. Okay, I'm getting the same marks more or less, but the effort. So I realized, no, for me, engineering, mechanical engineering in particular, that is my thing. And I don't regret it. I know my dad was really, really, really unhappy with me with that decision. Yeah, because he just could not relate to. He did not know what is this engineering thing.
Yes.
You know, he could. I mean, he's someone who's like goes around and boast. You know, he could not even boast to his friends because what are they going? What is this thing?
Yes. Yeah.
The next thing that comes to mind to me is like a motor mechanic. No, man. Why are you doing this to me? It's like, no. And I think this is what I wanted. I stuck with that. And the good thing is my mother was like, there, you go do what you want to do.
Wow. Yeah. So she saw something, as you already said earlier, in some that you have certain skills and not perform others.
Yes.
Very interesting.
Yeah. So it's only then that I realized, okay, maybe there's something that is different. You know, an education system that is designed to put you down there, but you are able to rise above all of that and be able to compete at an equal level with everybody else. And then okay. So when I went to Natal University doing my engineering thing, I already knew that to me, there was no such a thing or to someone superior or no. There was no, that thought was never anymore in my mind. I had this self-belief.
By own experience or also from influence from your family? By own experience, was your own conclusion, or was it also from the influence from your parents?
No, it was just my own conclusion. Yeah, it was really my own conclusion. There was nobody who kind of, I would not say I was influenced. Yeah, I realized, I mean, look, so most of the time, what my parents used to do, which is now, again, when I reflect back on it, it is strange. During holidays, school holidays, they used to bring other with the kids of their friends.
Yeah.
They used to come and stay with us.
Yeah.
Not because they just want us to have people that.
Yeah.
My job was to teach them math and science.
Wow.
So I did not have holidays, really. So they never even had this discussion with me that, hey, look, listen, we want you to, no.
Yes.
They would have these contracts and deal and agreements.
Yeah.
All I would do is 2 or 3 kids here, and then starting tomorrow,
okay,
you have to give them, so
you became.
So I was really not happy with that arrangement.
Yeah.
I was not.
Yeah.
But what I then realized, I'm not happy, but immediately I start. And then time would be like, I don't know where the time went. 5 hours or 3 hours later, we're still. So I've actually realized that I'm enjoying this thing.
Yes.
I'm enjoying as much as it's been forced to me, but I'm actually enjoying. But I want to do it in such a way that these people must live. So I must impact this knowledge in a way that makes them to get it quickly, so that I can have the time to go and have fun.
I think time flies when you really enjoy doing.
Yeah. I then realized, geez, I mean, I actually enjoy this thing.
Yes.
And I found myself again when I was now at University of Natal, occupying the same role there. There were 2 courses that made many Black students to be excluded from the engineering course.
Okay.
2.
Yes.
One was calculus.
Okay.
And the other one was engineering, drawing, and design.
Okay.
None of those, in terms of our curriculum in the Bantu education, none of them were never exposed to any of that until university.
Yeah.
Right. When you realize then that your counterparts had been either in grade 11 or grade 12, they had been exposed to this. So the playing fields were not level.
Yes.
There was this huge gap. And unfortunately, if you fail any of those 2 first semester in university, they exclude you. So I found myself playing a role of helping other students to deal with both of those. And now it was not my parents who were forcing me. I just realized that people were struggling, and then I helped.
Wow.
So it's been this constant thing that throughout my life, when I look at it even now, many of the people that I coach or mentor, some of them are CEOs, are dealing with some very, very complex situations. But I find myself being attracted to helping them solve some of these things that some of them may consider complex, but are not.
Yeah. Well, you also very often choose environments that are quite stressful. So what keeps you grounded? What makes you motivated when you get up in the morning? Especially in hard times where you say, oof, this is a really difficult challenge that I got here myself into.
There's a guy called Zig Ziglar.
Yes.
I don't know if you've heard.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I'm a great fan of him.
Yeah, he said something about, I think he said something along the lines of, it was character that got me out of bed.
Okay.
And commitment that made me to take action.
Okay.
And it was discipline that made me to follow through. Something along those lines.
Yeah.
I think really it is, to me, what keeps me going, regardless of how tough things are. It's just we need to we need to sort things out. It is what it is. Life is unfair. That's another thing that I tell myself. You can cry, you can do whatever. It's not going to change things. It is what it is. The question is, how do you make sure you are successful in an environment that
Yes.
may appear to be unfair.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
take
Yeah.
away that fairness thing, make it not not stop you
Yeah. Yeah.
from I mean, we live in a world that is still hugely sexist. We live in a world that is hugely racist.
Yeah.
And if you are continuously focusing on those things,
Yes.
you're not going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
So, okay, it is what it is. I hope it would not be the case, but it is the case.
Yeah.
So let me figure out a way that I can be able to maneuver
Yeah.
and be relevant and be noticed, regardless of whether people like me or not.
Yes.
You know,
Yes,
that's my
yes.
attitude towards life.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm.
You said earlier as well that the leadership, it's your own responsibility to
Yes.
to step up. Max Moyer recently said this is leadership needs to be assumed. What he realized, no one is given, nothing is given to
Nothing. Yeah, you have to you have to own your career.
Exactly, exactly.
You don't wait for things. People,
Yeah.
regardless of whether they like you or not,
Yeah.
you must make yourself.
Yeah.
These people must know that they need you,
Yeah.
regardless of whether they like you.
Exactly. Yeah. Many know you as the man who turned around Altron. Let's unpack this a little bit. What state was Altron in when you joined, and what did it take you, cultural, emotional, strategically, to create this turnaround?
Yeah. So Altron was an interesting one. So I had just been with MTN South Africa for 2 years.
Yeah.
And MTN South Africa, I mean, anybody who has worked in a telecommunications company, more especially the mobile telecoms company, they can, I mean, the demand for products, it just is there all the time. You don't really have to do much, so you are likely going to be successful in that environment. But that is not the most challenging for me. It's good for other people, but not for me. So when I got the call, say, hey, we are about to make some changes here in Altron. The family is going to be stepping down. We'd like you to take the responsibility of being the first, I guess, non-family CEO of the company, and take it forward and address it and try and fix it. The company was making huge losses. Huge losses. It were close to business rescue. The company was invested in operations that were no longer relevant. They may have been relevant in the past. Were in manufacturing, for example, manufacturing of transformers. And their only customer was ESKOM. The company is called PowerTech Transformers. Its only customer was ESKOM, and maybe a few municipalities. But ESKOM at the time, as you all know, it was going through a difficult time. It was the time of the Guptas. It was a lot of corruption. So if you do not want to do business that way,
I see.
You are stuck, because your only customer, the only way to do business is to be corrupt, and you have chosen as a company, that's not how we are going to do business. But where are you going to sell the product? So they had many assets like that, which had only one customer. The other one was Altec UEC, which was producing the decoders for MultiChoice.
Yes.
So their only customer was MultiChoice. So here you are. I think at some point they decided to get into, came up with a product called the Node. They were great at innovation, Altron, but that competed directly with MultiChoice's decoder. So you are now coming with a product that is competing with your customer. And the customer is not going to be impressed with you. But of course, they're going to tell you, they're going to show who is the boss. The customer is the boss. The customer is, okay, if you've chosen to compete with us, we are going to not buy from you.
Yeah.
That's your only customer.
Sure.
So you're stuck with all of these assets that are terrible assets. So that is the Altron that I found, where clearly we had to move out of certain industries that were serving some of the businesses. We had to dispose of those businesses. But how do you sell a business that does not have a customer? You see,
not that easy.
It's not easy. How do you sell a business that only have got one customer, and that customer, So I had to go together, of course, with my team. We have to figure out a way of disposing of these assets and disposing them in a way that actually protected the value for the shareholders.
Yes.
So that's when I came to the conclusion that the best buyers for these products are not local. I remember I was approached by a group of people, really, really had got all of this money, and they wanted to buy PowerTech transformers, the local guys. I remember going to the board and saying, no, we should not sell it to them. Other people would say, as long as it's going to be out of my hands. No, I said, no, we should not sell it to these guys. Because what is it that they're going to do differently compared to us? Because they're facing the same problem.
Sure, exactly.
How are they going to solve the problem of ESKOM? And now, assuming 18 to 24 months down the line, they are stuck having this problem. And then the next thing, we're going to have headlines that are saying, Altron sold this black consortium, an entity that they knew that it does not have any value. And they, so no, we should not do that. The best buyers for this is that are companies that want to have local presence, but are already in this business globally, but do not have a footprint in Africa.
Interesting.
Those are the great potential buyers of this thing. And then we started to look around the world, and we found SGB Smith.
Okay.
Does that ring a bell? SGB Smith?
Very slightly, yes,
Yeah, it's a German company that builds transformers. We sold that transformer business to them. They did not have local presence here.
Interesting.
Then we sold the decoder company to a company called Skyworth, which is a Chinese company that produces decoders globally but did not have a local presence here. So when MultiChoice said, okay, bye-bye Altron, they went to buy an import from Skyworth. So we sold those two entities to them. Then we took that money, some of that, we started to invest into new areas of growth. Move the company to be more in IT. That's where the growth is, in technology. Cybersecurity, digital transformation, and this whole thing around vehicle tracking. Netstar, we doubled down on Netstar. We built a business in the UK, which we ended up delisting. And it's called Bytes UK. So all of that's the stuff that we ended up doing to get the business back on track. It was not easy, but I had good shareholders. The private equity firm that had hired me, it's called Value Capital Partners. A very, very good partnership with them in executing all of this.
Wonderful. Where is this company from? Is this an African company?
It's a South African company. So it was formed by Anthony Ball and Sam Sitole.
What was the toughest decision that you had to do as a leader? One that kept you up at night, and what did it teach you?
There are so many tough decisions that I've made. Maybe the one that comes to mind is when I was at Microsoft. At Microsoft, you're hiring all of these leaders, they're growing the business. We're doing very well. But one of my big things for me is always try to have a diverse team, meaning diversity not just in terms of race,
Yes.
but terms of, you don't have to have people, all of the people who grew up from within Microsoft.
Yes.
You need different perspectives.
Absolutely.
So you need leaders that come from outside. I used to make sure that at least one or two members of the executive committee, people that either we get them from the US or from Europe, again, bring the different perspectives. So we went to the market, we looked for one of the leaders, and I found a guy. And he did perform exceptionally well with the interviews. I mean, he was fantastic. Sat down, we drilled him. Hey, he was great. A month in, I started to hear noises from his team.
Okay.
Things are not going well here.
Okay.
Called him, hey, this is what I'm hearing.
Okay.
Said, no, don't. I mean, we're still early days. I'm like, I don't like what I'm hearing.
Yes. Yeah.
We are not a company where, we hold people accountable here, and this is not how we manage others.
Yes.
The way I'm hearing you managing people, it is not in line with our values.
Okay.
1.5 months in, I called him and said, I have to put you on a performance improvement plan.
Okay.
We call it a PIP.
Yeah.
Performance improvement.
Yeah.
You are 1.5 months in. And that performance improvement plan says that after 3 months, if things don't, it's either you improve or you're out.
Yes.
So to make a decision to put that particular person, and by the way, ended up having the person had to leave.
Yeah.
That was, first it's a reflection on yourself.
Yeah.
Poor hiring.
Sure.
Some other people would postpone it and stop and not do anything because they're worried about their own, I had to deal with it. And ultimately it was good for the individual. It was also good for, Microsoft. Most important, it was good for the people that this guy was managing.
Okay.
Or mismanaging.
Yes.
Yeah. So I had to go and apologize to that team for the choice of a leader that I gave them.
But that's greatness to apologize.
So that was not easy. It's not easy, but it's just one of the many difficult decisions that I had to make.
Dr. Nyati, you became known for driving large-scale turnarounds. What are early warning signs that an organization is drifting towards a needed turnaround?
Yeah, that's an interesting way that you're putting it, because many people think of a turnaround as only when things is already in ICU.
Exactly.
That's when you need to turn things around. But the way you have asked that question, it means that we need to always be constantly looking at the organizations that we are leading.
Yes.
And look at, are there any early warning signals that we are moving in the wrong direction?
Yes.
Then address it.
Yeah.
So for me, there are a couple of things. One, it's first, what are your clients saying?
Okay.
Because there is that thing I spoke about earlier of the net promoter score. The net promoter score is going to your customers.
Yes.
Independently, people giving you feedback to an independent consultant that then tells you, this is how I'm experiencing company A versus company B.
Yes.
And that's great feedback.
Sure.
And that feedback also gives you an indication whether is the market moving. Then you have to ask yourself, are my offerings still relevant
Yes.
to the changing needs of my customers?
Yes.
So that's the first thing. If your net promoter score is going in the wrong direction,
Yeah.
that's an important statement.
Thanks for watching this episode, and I guess can tell you the next episode is even getting more exciting. See you next week.